Hello friends, in the previous topic we have discussed about pipelining basic concepts. Now we will discuss about the next concept, that is data hazards. What is meant by a data hazard? A data hazard is a situation in which the pipeline is stalled because the data to be operated on or delayed for some reason, which means that both the source operand and the destination operand will be delayed for some situations, in some situations. So that type of stalling of pipelining is known as data hazard. Here, we must ensure that the results obtained when instructions are executed in a pipeline processor are identical to those obtained when the same instructions are executed sequentially. Here, what is the meaning of this sentences is nothing but whenever the pipeline processor is whenever the instructions are executed based on pipeline processor, and whenever the same instructions are executed sequentially, both the results should be correct, which means both the results should be similar. For example, let us consider two instructions, that is I1 and I2. So in sequential execution, first I1 is processed and then I2 is processed. Whenever we use pipeline processing, whenever we use a pipeline processing, a concurrent execution will be takes place. This may lead to in some cases I2 will also be executed first. So at that time, there may result in incorrect solutions. Incorrect results will be occurred. Consider an example, that is hazard occurs while performing these two operations. A hazard will occur. How means? Let's see. A tends to 3 plus A. Here let us assume that A equals to 5. First, I1 instruction has to be executed. So 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5 in the sense 8. 8 is stored in A. And the next instruction I2 is B tends to 4 into A. So here already A has result 8. So that result is placed in second instruction, that is A equals to 8. 8 into 4, 32. B equals to 32. So here there is a dependency between instruction 1 and instruction 2. If the instruction executes sequentially, okay, it's the result is correct. If the instruction execute simultaneously, what happens? An incorrect result will occur. That means directly the value A equal here. As I already told that A tends to 3 plus A, that is 8 is stored in A. So if the instruction is executed concurrently, B tends to 4 into A also already I had told that assume that A equals to 5. So here 5 is placed in A's position. So 4 into 5 equals to 20. 20 is the result of B. So there is an incorrect results occurs in both situations. So this may leads to hazard. Another example is no hazard. In this, considered same C equals to 5. Here there is independency. These are two independent instructions. See, 5 equals to 5 into 5 equals to 20. Sorry, 25. This 25 result is placed in A. That is instruction 1. In coming to the next instruction, that is I2. Here 20 plus 5, that is C equals to 5. 20 plus 5, 25. So 25 result is placed in B. So these two instructions are independent to each other. That's why there is no hazard will occur. When two operations depend on each other, they must be executed sequentially in the correct order. So here whenever the two operations are dependent on each other, sequential execution process must be used. Another example, let us consider multiplication operation, that is mul R2, R3, R4. Here R2 and R3 are multiplied and the result is placed in R4. And the next instruction is add. Here addition performs on R5, R4. So the result is placed in R6. Let us consider an example. So based on these two instructions, let us see the diagram, how it will occur. So this is the diagram for the above example. First, in instruction 1, multiplication process will occur. So here a sequence of operations will be performed. That is, first fetching is fetched by the instruction fetch unit from the main memory, and after fetching, decoding will be carried out, and then execution, and then write in the sense the result is placed in destination location. So and then coming to next instruction, that is I2. Here add operation is performed. So whenever the instruction I1 is fetched from the main memory and it is placed in decoded state, simultaneously the instruction fetch unit will fetches the instruction I2 from the main memory. So F2 is in clock cycle 2, and then after fetching the buffer, the result is after fetching the instruction, the instruction is placed in buffer. So the buffer sends the information to the D2, that is the decoded unit. So the decoded unit decodes the instruction. Here from this example, here see R2, R3, R4. So R2 and R3 are multiplied and the result is placed in R4. So here R4 is contains some result, and this R4 result is used in addition operation also. So for this there may be some delay. Here see, after execution of the first instruction, simultaneously here instruction I2 is waiting for the R4 register. This the waiting process can be written as some block sequence. So D2 to D2A up to clock cycle 3 to clock cycle 3 to clock cycle 5, a delay is occurred on a decoded stage. After that, whenever the write statement in the instruction 1 is completed, then only the next instruction of the execution will be takes place. That's why this in the I2 process a delay occurs. Depend on this delay, the instruction I3 also may lead to some delays. That's why for F3 to D3 some block is there, that may also leads to some delays. The next one is, so in order to overcome these delays, we are a new technique is used, that is operand forwarding. Instead of from the register file, the second instruction can get data directly from the output of ALU after the previous instruction is completed. See, here we will introduce an ALU unit. ALU stands for arithmetic logical unit, which is used for arithmetic and logical operations. So addition, multiplication, these are our arithmetic operations. So for this purpose we use ALU unit. A special arrangement needs to be made to forward the output of ALU to the input of ALU. So some arrangement will be takes place here in order to forward the output of ALU to the input of ALU. Let's see that. This is the diagram of data path. See here, ALU is placed. It contains RSLT, SRC1, SRC2. By seeing this, what will you will recollect it? It is just like a three bus structure, right? So ALU contains two multiplexes. So source 1, by using source 1 and source 2, operands will be access in operands that are inputs takes place through source 1 and source 2. it does not the ALU unit does not taking the input directly from the source 1 and source 2. It has a mediator, that is a multiplexers are used between source 1 and ALU and source 2 and ALU, right? And after performing the operation, the result is placed in RSLT buffer. See here, SRC1 and SRC2 are a part of buffers B1, and RSLT are the part of B2. Here we can see in the diagram B, SRC1 and SRC2 are a part of B1, and the RSLT are the part of B2. Once an instruction is executed, the result is automatically placed in RSLT buffer, and after completing of the previous instruction, the same result is again forwarded to the next instruction, that is by using forwarding path. So based on this, by using this forwarding path, we can reduce the delays. And we can also process the instruction execution without any interruption. And the next one is handling data hazards in software. In previous one, we have used hardware. So here, how can we handle hardware hazards in software? Here we will discuss that one. Here compiler acts as an important role. Let the compiler detect and handle the hazard. Let us consider I1 instruction which contains a multiply operation, that is R2, R3, R4, and I2 add operation R5, R4, R6. Here same as in what we discussed in previous example. Here NOP means no operation. Here the compiler places NOP between the instruction 1 and instruction 2 in order to reorder the instructions to perform some useful work during the NOP slots. So by reordering the instructions, we can reduce the delays that occur between the two instructions. So this is the main important thing in the software. What the software does is, it just places NOP operations in between two instructions, and then whenever any delays occurs, it reorders the instructions to perform some useful work. This may lead to minimizing in the delays. The next one is side effects. These are operand forwarding and handling hazards in software. These are some techniques. By using these techniques, what are the side effects we will get? Let's see. Sometimes an instruction changes the contents of a register other than the one named as destination. Means, for example, auto decrement or auto increment. These are two types. Here R1 plus plus or R2 plus plus. Let us consider that. First, both source operand and destination operand is same. So whenever we use R1 plus plus, it increments the register R1. Automatically there is a change in the source operand also. So this is one type of side effect. When a location other than one explicitly named in an instruction as destination operand is affected, same location also affected. Sorry, the instruction is said to have a side effect. For example, conditional code flags. In conditional code flags also there may be some side effects. Which means that here add operation is used for R1, R3 and add with carry. And so by using add with carry also there is some side effects. Instructions designed for execution on pipeline hardware should have few side effects. For every technology there will be some disadvantages. So these are some disadvantages in handling some techniques in the data hazards. Thank you guys. in the next video we will continue about instruction hazards. Thank you so much.